All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to date a Libra. Libras are so naturally charming and sexy, generally speaking. Maybe not all of them, but generally speaking, they are physically attractive individuals, right? Libra is ruled by Venus. These people are generally pretty in touch with appearances, how things look. They know whether or not they find something beautiful or not. They're pretty in touch and they have a really good sense of what looks good and what's beautiful and what's not. Obviously, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but generally they're good. Like they'll set up their home and living space in a way that is nice. They value beautiful things, like they value clothes and they value art, and all these kind of like stereotypes that go along with Venus actually do kind of turn out to be true. Libra women are very kind of feminine. They're really in touch with kind of the feminine side of things. They enjoy dressing up. They enjoy going out. They really feel at their best when they feel beautiful and comfortable and confident in how they look. Libra men, it kind of depends, how they're socialized, how much they're kind of going to embrace their sort of Venus traits, but even them, they're going to be a little bit more preoccupied with their appearance maybe than the average male. They're going to have a good sense of what matches and what doesn't. Dating a Libra can be hard, right? Because these individuals are so freaking charming, and they have this natural tendency to want to compliment everyone around them in every situation. It's kind of a superpower, right? Because they make everyone around them feel incredibly good about themselves. But sometimes it's like hard to tell what their true intentions really are, right? So they could be in a conversation with you and they could be very charming and flirty almost. And that's almost kind of their natural disposition. And so it's almost hard to tell whether it's actually flirting or it's just them having a normal conversation and wanting to please you and make them like you, you know? I think the other challenge comes when you get more into like a longer term relationship with a Libra, right? You have to be someone that's fairly secure in yourself, because you're going to see them put on that charm for other people, right? And you have to be okay with the fact that, assuming you're with a trustworthy Libra, like, you're safe, like they're not really flirting. That's just kind of how they are. And it's something that you should love and appreciate about them, right? Like, they are really charming. It's fun to be with them. One of Libra's biggest challenges in dating life is really making sure that their desire to please is coming from a place of wanting to genuinely love the other person and to do things for them unconditionally because it makes them feel good, because they genuinely want to please other people. On the other hand, Libras can be incredibly people-pleasing, and they can do so almost out of a codependence, right? They think that they're doing something nice for the other person, but whether consciously or unconsciously, sometimes there's a tendency to expect like the other person is going to reciprocate, right? Like, I did all this for you, now you're going to do all this for me because that's fair and that's how it works. And that's going to make me less disposable in a relationship, because why would you dispose of someone that's so nice to you? Another common stereotype of Libras, right, is that they can't make up their mind. They're indecisive, and I think as a general rule, that's true. It's less about them not being able to make up their minds as it is related to a desire for them to just want agreement and harmony in literally every situation. So not only do they want to avoid super intense conflict, but even small things like an opinion about a movie, or where you might enjoy going to play tennis, or like what countries you like. I don't know. Like, they don't like disagreeing with people, right? Because when there's disagreement, they feel disconnected. And it's their superpower, it's their gift. They're so good at creating these kind of moments of harmony and bringing people together and in creating what I would call like a golden moment, which I would describe as those situations where people feel really connected, right? And they're able to kind of temporarily put down the things that make them different from other people and kind of experience a greater amount of connection. But it's also their undoing, right? Because when they lean into that too much, there is such an intense avoidance of conflict that the Librans will almost forget that some conflict is actually really healthy. You need to have conflict in a relationship because one, tension creates polarity. It keeps things interesting. Conflict is kind of how we make sense of the world, right? When one person puts out something or tries to describe it or communicate it to another person, maybe they don't even totally believe it, right? But they're just trying to like start a conversation or start thinking about something. And that's what makes great conversations, right? It's a little bit of a cooperative debate, and there's kind of a natural back and forth. Sometimes Libras can get so afraid of even that kind of conflict that they just want to agree with everything that another person says. And that just kind of creates a very sort of like sterile situation. And sometimes the parties involved don't even totally realize it's happening until like they're in a little bit too deep, and they realize like, who is this person? It's just like they're totally mirroring me and kind of freaking me out, you know? The other danger, of course, is that a Libra will kind of totally abandon themselves in that moment, right? They kind of, in doing that and avoiding conflict and always agreeing with people, they get farther and farther away from like who they genuinely are at the core, right? And staying grounded in themselves, which is like that's not good, you know? You don't want them to do that. They don't want to do that. But on the whole, I mean, dating a Libra is really an incredible experience. Once they're really committed to someone, they are very committed. They tend to invest a lot of energy into a relationship, right? They're very relationship oriented. And they do really want to make their partner happy, right? Obviously, some unhealed Libras are going to be a little bit more codependent, and you're going to see those kind of bad Libra traits come out. But by and large, Libras they do want to make other people happy. Like they genuinely do enjoy that, which if you have that in a partner, that's such a great feeling. And this is all with the caveat that, again, we always have to consider the whole astrological birth chart and think about all the other aspects and house positions involved. So it's always hard, and I'm always hesitant to kind of make these generalizations about a sun sign. I think the last thing I'll say is that a Libra in love or in a relationship does sometimes have a tendency to want to intellectualize and describe their emotions instead of actually sometimes just feeling them when they need to be felt. That's going to depend on, you know, what else we see in the chart, right? If there's other balance, if there's other water in the chart, there's some more earth in the chart, that's less of an issue. If you have a Libra with very heavy air or even air and fire, that's going to sometimes be a recipe for a lot of overthinking and over intellectualizing and a lot of anxiety creation that comes from turning what really just are emotions that need to be felt into mental energy that they kind of don't know what to do with. But that's all for now. Hope you found that interesting. If you have any questions or you're interested in, you know, some other topics, like let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.